Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia, and welcome back to the final match of Day 1 of Group A Group Play, as we are going to end the day with a matchup between Electric Experience and Sleeping Phoenix. Both players have played one match earlier today, to very different results, and we will see if these results are a fluke or a trend, and be sure to stay tuned after the post-battle analysis to take a look at Group A standings after Day 1 and which matches might generate some buzz tomorrow as Group A will finish up their games. But staying focused on the current matchup, let's take a look at the composition, starting with Electric Experience in the green. There are some major tweaks to his composition, as Guo Jia stayed, but instead of Yuan Shao and Wen Chou, now it's Cao Cao and Sun Ce. Overall, it still feels like 2 support generals plus 1 damage source in Sun Ce, but I'm starting to see a trend in terms of how Electric Experience like to play. He really liked Guo Jia as a safety net against potential stock attacks, and on top of that, he really likes morale hits. Wen Chou and Sun Ce both have unique abilities that deal massive amount of morale hits, and they play a very similar role. But knowing that his generals were weaker, he kind of shores up that weakness with the use of the guard passive with Sun Ce's unique unit, the Handmade Guard and the Tiger Guard, which both make appearance here. And they are better quality infantry as well as a lot of Qingzhou unit to supplement that. We have less range cavalry, which is a good sign. They've been upgraded to rank 5, which is also good because they get faster attack speed. And there's a couple northern cavalry to kind of make up for numbers. Overall, not a bad composition. Then looking at Sleeping Phoenix side, he's keeping the same composition he played in his earlier match. It's Dong Zhuo, it's Zhang Jiao, it's Zhang Bao. Still 6 units of those very powerful Messenger of Heaven, quality infantry and Protector of Heaven. And we still have the Yao Guai Hunter for poison damage, as well as Sight on top of 5 Redeem Outlaws. So the same composition, one that I'm sure he's very practiced with, versus some modifications from Electric Experience, and we'll see how this one plays out. So looking at the deployment here, Electric Experience has taken this sort of defensive posture with his infantry, cavalry still spread out, generals also kind of one behind the other, and for Sleeping Phoenix here, it's just the front line of quality infantry, Yao Guai Hunter as a scout in the front, generals stay together, 2 flanks of cavalry. Now, I did mention before in a previous matchup that spreading your cavalry out like this is not a good idea, but here it's a little bit different because each of these cav have doubled the unit, so essentially think of this as 6 cavalry on one side. It's very hard for the other side to match up. Even if Electric Experience pulled all 5 of his cavalry on one side, they would still have less numbers against the Messenger of Heaven, so dividing these in half is actually the proper thing to do, or else they just kind of crowd things up and you don't get a good spread of damage. Let's see how this plays out. Pretty aggressive push. We do have a concentration of the cavalry. Sun Ce's moving up. Harassment here with the fire arrows, the counter harassment with the poison arrows, and they have snipe, so they can't answer these Yao Guai Hunters with the fire arrows. Someone has to get close. Actually, snipe doesn't work because Guo Jia is here. We have foresight. So they could actually burn down these troops, but they're going to try to splash onto as many of these infantry as possible and get those poison to start working. Maybe try to get it on each unit a little bit. You can see them just spreading out the targets. Very, very smart. You want to hit all the infantry. It's poison spread across per unit in a group. So the bigger the retinue, 120 unit, the more damage it will do overall. They are getting beaten back. The fire, the under fire, plus the damage, they are going to be routing a little bit. So that's a good answer there with Guo Jia providing sight. A few units bleeding out a little bit, not too bad. It looks like Sleeping Phoenix want to fight in the forest, which is a little bit shocking. They stopped here. They don't have any range. So if they want to close gap, aside from the Yao Guai Hunters, which can't really sustain the fight here, there's not much to do. The Northern Lance Cavalry. This is going to be rough. The roar is worth 50 points. You can roar twice. And Messenger Heaven have 95 morale at this point. It's the stacking of the boost that you get from Nature's Ally, and then there's also a passive Well, not a passive, but there's an additional boost there. There's a lot of bonuses being stacked on this side. And it's going to be hard to get rid of those units with Morale Shock. Even Redeem Outlaws can tank one outright. It's a pretty quality setup. Now, if they can focus down this unit here a little bit, instead of letting them spread the poison onto the infantry. But even then, you can see the poison damage from one volley is about 5 units. It's not a big deal. Right now, we're just in this dance before someone wants to make a move. There's still good enough quality infantry that the Messenger of Heaven doesn't want to just charge in. If they can take out this Yaogui Hunter and take away all the poke option, then perhaps Sleeping Phoenix would have to charge in at that point and actually fight this properly. There's one flanking unit here. They should spot it. Guojia should know everything. This is a waste. There's just not much damage. Hitting Yaogui Hunters is one thing, but trying to hit something with a shield, 60% range block chance, that's just not going to cut it. Should focus on the Yaogui Hunters. That's the one unit that they should really actually try to kill. Tanking the poison arrow is fine. There's so much health per unit on these cavalry that they're not going to be scared of a little bit of poison damage. Now looking at who's in the front, the Tiger Guard and the Qingzhou units are in the front. Protector Heaven in the back. I think Protector should be your front line, first unit to contact, and then the cheaper unit should try to flank. That way, you know, the stronger unit can hold on a little bit longer. This is not bad. They should trade pretty evenly here. And the damage right now with the poison is not too bad. Here comes the generals, making a move. There is a Flame of the Phoenix attack on Dongzhuo. The infantry are falling together. You can see the joint movement. They don't need to engage super hard. The splash missed on this, which is a big cooldown for that. 60 seconds now. The messenger are coming in. Now, in a cavalry versus cavalry fight, most of the damage is on the charge. If you don't charge, you're the losing side. The roar does nothing here. They're not going to rout them. That's the problem. The micro by Sleeping Phoenix is really good. The attacks are happening at the same time. Nothing feels disorganized. These cavalries are a little bit underutilized, but the infantry didn't miss a beat as they collided. Yeah, as you can see, if you don't charge your cavalry, you're losing out this entire damage. The melee bonus goes into your attack damage, goes into the enemy evasion. That's where you get the big burst. So if you're just going to stand there and let them charge you, that's really bad. We do have Guojia providing a little bit of, you know, debuff. That's what his job is. If he doesn't get that off, he's useless. Oh, we got dismounts. That is not good for Guojia. Guojia's going to get killed really quick with a dismounted general. Not being moved at all. He's trying to run. It's too late. Cao Cao's not moving at all. They can go after him next. He's running. But there's not a lot of space to run. He's got to go through a lot of enemy cavalry, and they're chasing right behind. He got out. He got out. So he's trying to use his roar here, but he's going up into Qingzhou unit. That roar is not going to do too much. Or a Redeem Outlaw. Never mind. Wrong side. That roar is going to do a lot. So good value there. The second roar came back really nicely. It's also coming back in to do what? That one little sweeping charge? Now he should stay on one of these units so they don't bounce back when the roar expires. Sitting out here doesn't do us any good. Once again, we're back in the situation where the swarm of Messenger of Heaven are still alive. And I don't know if there's much Electric Experience can do about that. There's still the Zhangjiao problem as well. The infantry won out over here. They're bouncing back. Where are they being sent to? Right, they're chasing Rada unit. That's good. They're not being turned around to face this. The cavalry's kind of swarming around. They don't really want to engage the infantry. They're just going to harass a little bit here. Zhang Jiao can engage anyone he wants. He doesn't mind dying. And we'll see the Protector of Heavens that are remaining. Maybe a smash attack here. Not too bad. Oh, the dismounted generals are here. If he can't get out, he's going to die quick. Ooh, getting whacked. No, turning isn't going to do anything now. He's too low. Vanguard morales are low. These units have not moved one bit. There's definitely a gap in terms of micro ability here. Yeah, you can see the commands are not just all of the Messenger of Heaven on one hotkey going to one place. They're still being commanded. This is just getting ignored. Obviously, there's still mistakes on both sides, but you can see these units never moved since they finished the earlier fight. And Cao Cao is stuck once again looking on. Very similar to Yuan Shao. He's even less useful if he's just going to look on. Does not provide any distant courage. Dong Zhuo has a Flame of the Phoenix. Zhang Bao has a smash ability. Zhang Jiao doesn't know where to die. Trying to die, but difficult. And the three of them need to swarm Cao Cao here. Activating all the bonuses. I think that's a one-time use. Faster attack rate, just to win a little bit quicker. But the Unbreakable General is the missing piece of the puzzle. They need to kill him. So these three that's dismounted need to get on top of the General. It's pretty decisive. But as the second tiebreaker does come down to time, finishing games is a priority as well. Alright. Getting some Protector of Heaven on top of Cao Cao. None of the generals though. The cavalry can just swing back into him. That's just going to be army loss. That is a waste of a target. A duel challenge. Maybe they can end this with a duel. Rejected by Zhang Jiao. They want to win fast, so no dueling. Just going to whack him down. Cao Cao's going to stand and fight to the death or run away to the death. I think that might be the biggest thing that Electric Experience could take away from the tournament. More aggression and decisiveness with the unit, like the cavalry when faced with each other. If they're charging you, the best thing you should do is charge back, even if you don't feel like you can win. Because you're not going to outrun it, and tanking the charge without returning any damage is just a far worse option. And there we have it. The final match of Day 1 is in the books. And looking at the unit counts and the damage, those Messenger of Heaven definitely carry the day. They basically play the role as sort of generals and cavalry fight early on, and then the infantry would collide afterwards. The Redeemed Outlaw did not have high enough morale to tank the roar, which made them perform a little bit worse, but you know, they still did a good job in terms of getting the damage done, and they still had a core unit of Protector of Heaven to kind of carry the way afterwards. The generals cleaned house pretty easily, dismounted, killed Guo Jia before he could get away, killed Sun Ce, and Cao Cao was there at the end holding nothing as he faces death dismounted. I think this army composition has issues, especially if you're going to play the way it's too passive and the generals are not strong enough to play that way. If you're going to be passive, then you need to have stronger unit if your generals are not going to be carrying the fights, or the best option is just play with stronger generals and be more aggressive, and that would yield better results. So let's take a look at the current standings. So with this match finished, we'll take a look at Group A standings after Day 1. Every player has played 2 matches. We have Sleeping Phoenix and Will Be Deed ahead with a 2-0 record, and in terms of time of victory, Sleeping Phoenix actually ahead with 15 minutes and 58 seconds across his 2 wins versus Will Be Deed with 17 minutes and 47 seconds. Shogun Met is at a 1-1 record, and Electric Experience and Odin's Wrath are currently 0-2. And looking ahead to the matches tomorrow, We start the day with Will B. Deed versus Electric Experience as he looked for his first win versus a very tough opponent, the runner-ups to Season 1 and Season 2. And then we have probably the best match of this group, Sleeping Phoenix, who has proven himself to be a very capable player with very good micro abilities versus Will B. Deed, a very experienced player from our past 2 tournaments. Then we have Odin Wrath versus Electric Experience, 2 players at the bottom seeking a miracle on day 2, and then Odin's Wrath versus Shogun Met. Now Shogun Met lost his day 1 match to Will B. Deed. If he's able to win out on day 2 against Odin's Wrath and the final game against Sleeping Phoenix, he's going to be right in the thick of things, at least in terms of tiebreakers for that final 3 slot, as the group winner will advance automatically, but everyone with a high record, in this case 3-1, will probably still be in contention for those final 3 spots. So we'll see how things go, and hope you guys enjoyed this day 1 contest, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!